With summer in full swing, I feel that familiar urge to refresh my closet, but I'm not trying to waste money on pieces that I'm going to wear once or for just one season. And that's where Quince comes in. Their clothes are timeless, feel luxurious, look elevated, and the quality is way beyond what you'd expect for the price. I just got a white linen maxi dress. Now, if I had paid for that dress in a department store, I would have paid $170. Well, guess what? I got it for $69. And by the way, that same dress comes in blue pinstripe. Think 100% European linen top starting at $30. Washable silk dresses and skirts and soft cotton sweaters. Versatile warm weather pieces that you're going to reach for again and again. And the best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middlemen, Quince gives you luxury without the markup. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. So you've got to give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/Kate Casey for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Kate Casey to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Kate Casey.
Travis fell in love with the perfect woman. She listened. She cared. There was just one catch. She was an AI companion. When her behavior takes a disturbing turn, Travis finds himself at the center of a much darker story. Listen to Flesh and Code early and ad-free on Wondery Plus.
The amazing Kate Casey.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey. Hope that you're having a great start to your week. I was in Burbank yesterday. I was recording with Heather McDonald. I get in my car to leave. And that's when I found out the news, just like the rest of you, that Denise Richards' husband filed for divorce. Now, the date of separation was the 4th of July. He filed the paperwork on Monday, the 7th. So we can only presume what happened that weekend. And the good people who cover all of the pop culture stories have given you a breakdown of what their monthly expenses are as reported in the filing. And Chris DeRosa, will get to that in this episode. So if you're really eager to talk and just to riff, if you will, about that divorce, we've got you covered in this episode. We are also going to talk about Bachelor in Paradise. Chris has never actually watched the show, which I can't believe. I was an old school Bachelor Nation person, loved the first seasons of Bachelor in Paradise. It got a little wonky for a little while. I haven't been keeping up to date on every single episode of every Bachelor and Bachelorette of the last few seasons. However, I have working knowledge. So you can imagine my surprise when I didn't know who some of the contestants are for this show. That says a lot. So the nice thing is I'm just like the rest of you. I'm learning about them as we go. And the twist to this season is that you're also going to see contestants from The Golden Bachelor. So 2 different generations, different kind of romance stories. Here's a good thing too. For the first time, the show is filmed in Costa Rica, moving away from that longtime base in Mexico. You know, I have feelings about that beach. It was hideous. I don't know why they ever filmed there. Jesse Palmer hosts the show again. They've got Wells Adams bartending. I always think he's hilarious. Hannah Brown joins as Director of Paradise Relationships. I know. Introducing a champagne lounge and even yoga sessions. If you're asking what the point of that is, you have joined us in this discussion as well. They've got a new showrunner, so I think that you're going to see a stylistic difference as well. It's 16 familiar faces from recent or somewhat recent Bachelor and Bachelorette seasons. And then again, for the first time ever, you have beloved golden contestants from the Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette joining in by episode 3. So buckle up for that. Some of the people that you will see, the younger alums include Alex, Bailey, Jess, Lexi, Kat, Kyle, Brian, Hakeem, Jeremy, Jonathan, Ricky, Sam, Spencer, Dale, Justin, and Zoe. And then as far as the golden contenders, you're going to see Leslie and Gary the great one, not the Gary, the guy that we couldn't stand. April, Kathy, CK, April, and more to follow. So you've got a lot of drama because, as we know, a lot of them are thirst drops. They got a taste of sweet fame and they don't want to let that drug go away. So we're watching people who are somewhat interested in a romantic connection, but more so just being on TV. And for that, we have a lot to unpack. If you're looking for something fun to watch each week, this is definitely one of those shows. And Chris will be joining me to talk about this season and what's to come. So buckle up because you're going to have some good laughs. Again, we've got you covered on the Denise Richards divorce. And I hope that you continue listening this week. Yesterday's episode, I covered the George Smith disappearance off the cruise ship. I've got such great episodes this week. Phil Simms, 2-time Super Bowl championship with the Giants. He's going to join me this week to talk about Quarterback on Netflix, which is back for a second season. And I laughed almost the entire episode. I loved him. And I've got some other really fun episodes up ahead. I hope that you checked out my book club selection. The newest one is the Anna Wintour biography. I'm going to be interviewing the author, Amy Odell. I have a super special Saturday series episode, and I want to make sure you look out for that as well. So make sure that you are subscribed to the show. Get on Substack and make sure that you are subscribed to get all my funny articles, but also my what to watch lists and the book club selection. So go to katecasey.substack.com. And of course, follow me on social media too. But most importantly, make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast. Here's my interview with Chris. Chris, I have probably only had 5.5, 6 hours of sleep after an epic day that culminated with karaoke. In San Diego, nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for you. I'm ready to be here for you.
What did you sing?
Just the classics. Milli Vanilli, Girl, You Know It's True. We Are the World.
Oh, beautiful. I never sing We Are the World. Why don't I do that?
It's a crowd pleaser, I got to tell you. It brought the people together.
Yeah, that's a really good one for everyone. Yeah.
Yes.
We are the world. Yeah, that is a good. We are the children.
And then people took their phones up with the light. And
yeah, that's
it was just
good.
waving in the wind, and I felt like
I never
we were
have
all
thought
together.
to sing We Are the World. Wow, that's a good song.
Milli Vanilli. That actually gets the crowd going too.
You love like the 80s. You love the 80s.
I love anything that is connected to a scandalous doc series.
Yeah.
They could do like a compilation of hits. You know, they used to do those like infomercials where it would be like love songs.
Yeah, pure moods. They're all P.S. If you remember the infomercials, all of those are like playlists on Spotify now.
Amazing.
Remember like pure moods, and it was like, like, and it was like those weird like you know what I mean? And the one was like, it was a lot of Enya on that one. That's why I liked it so much. You know, I love Enya. So like that. Mm-hmm. All those like infomercial CDs are like power love ballads, and it's like Michael Bolton and Celine Dion like 80 million times. Those are all playlists on Spotify now. So if you want to do like or there was that one that was the 90s like jams, like the house.
90 jams, yes.
House music,
Nina,
you know what I mean?
Cherry, like, all of
the
those.
Kisses of the sun, ba-na-na-na-na-na, you know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
Finally, it's happened to me. Like that CD like is a playlist somewhere on Spotify. So
I love that song.
I know, me too. I love all that. That 90s house music really is so fun to me.
I would need you also to know, and I was with Ashley last night, I turned to her and I said, this moment after We Are the World has made me realize I'm sitting on a gold mine of a TV show that I need to speak to Chris to about tomorrow, that we are going to pitch to networks, and it is going to be greenlit immediatamente.
What is it?
Well, I'm not going to talk to you about it.
We're going to do it. I thought this was a bit, but no, it's like you actually
no. Like
have an idea.
I was like, wow. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in. I mean, I'm already in, so.
Yeah. Okay, another thing we need to talk about is the fact that yesterday, Denise Richards' husband filed for divorce.
Yeah.
Okay, immediate thought was ABC needs to make her the Golden Bachelorette. Now.
Oh, wow.
Yes. For some people, the reaction is
Kate, wait,
she's not a gold era person, but you're telling me the good people at ABC wouldn't go, oh, that's a shoo-in. They're going to bring down the age limit or like, you know, the age qualifications for her. What guy in their 50s and 60s would not want to go out with Denise Richards?
Yeah.
I know she's freshly in a divorce, but I feel like she can make it through.
Well, so she will go on a show to get paid, so.
Yeah, but then I found out.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. But then I found out how much she was making. Okay, let's go through this for a second. She's making like $250,000 a month because of like OnlyFans stuff.
Oh yeah, no, they like rake in money.
Yeah, God bless. Wow. Yeah. But the problem is he says he quit his job like 2 years ago with that make-believe job.
To like pretend that he's being stalked every day? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, to be her business partner.
She really can't she can't find someone that's not like out of their fucking mind.
I know, but that's why it would be good TV on The Golden Bachelorette.
Yeah.
She would definitely zero in on the craziest person, and then everybody in the country would be like motivated to try to get her through the TV to break up with whomever that person was.
Yeah.
Then she would bring her dad on because he was on that first reality show that she did, and he's so sweet. I feel like there are a lot of moving parts to this that people would really enjoy. But
it's a good idea. Also, your boy might be out, right? That's the rumors.
Really?
The Mel guy, whatever the football player.
Oh yeah, Mel's gone. I don't know, but then they have to get a bunch of guys quickly. You know what I say? If you put that out on social media, Denise Richards, we know that you're going through some sort of divorce, and it's actually not even like gone through the legal system yet. But we would like to make you the Golden Bachelorette. There would be a flood of people that would show up, even if they were like, "We're going to film next Wednesday at a Ramada." There would be a line out the door.
Especially guys, this is disgusting, but like guys that were like, oh, I used to like masturbate to you all the time on like Wild Things. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and I don't think she would care. She'd be like,
she'd be like,
so
okay.
Sweet. Yeah. But here's an issue that she might face later into the show of The Golden Bachelor when it's like she gets to the finalists and they have to go meet the families. I need to talk about the breakdown of how much they're spending in their marriage. Like, each month, they say they spend $25,000 on food. That's $15,000 on dining out, $10,000 on groceries and household items. What are they ordering?
No, like truly.
She says she spends $20,000 on clothes, or at least they do as a couple.
But like, does she? Because remember when she was on Beverly Hills, she was like, I'm just in jean shorts and everyone's all dressed up and I'm like in a tank top. Like, the math is not mathing, as the children say.
Yeah, I think he was just scrapping together because he says that they were separated on the 4th of July and then he filed like on the 7th. So that was haphazardly put together, and his rinky-dink ragtag lawyer goes, throw some numbers together, and he's like, $25,000 on food, $20,000 on clothes. $20,000 is probably spent in 1 year at like Cachet. But I do think she spends a lot of money on self-tanner. So that could have been a lot of the household item costs.
But that's not, no.
But then here's another
They're
weird
not
thing.
spending that much money on food. That's like they're trying to hide, someone's trying to hide something.
Something's going on. Well, then they say they only spend $18,000 on rent. And it looked like when I watched that show, when they were on it.
Or a month?
A month. But when you watched their Wild Things show, which I believe you watched with me.
I didn't.
It looked like they had 3 different apartments.
They probably do. Well, that's 18,000, but that makes sense to me then, 18,000. Or you're saying that's too low?
No, and then they also had that house in Malibu that his family had moved into because his family are squatters. So we're talking about like 4 different rents, mortgages situation. There's no mortgage listed on this.
How are you getting this information also?
They put it in the
it's in the
divorce filings.
Oh,
yeah,
Christ, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like an in with the accountant or anything, but I wish I did. Okay, another thing, entertainment, vacations, gifts, $15,000. Okay, utilities are $8,000 a month. I guess that's for all the 4 different properties. Childcare for Eloise, maintenance and repairs, $5,000. Laundry and cleaning is $5,000. I think, again, that goes back to the spray tan issue. Like her daughter said, anywhere she sits,
and they're not doing one thing themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, excuse me. They're not doing one thing themselves. They're like
delegating everything.
Like, everything's going to the dry cleaner. Like her panties are going to the dry cleaner. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're getting wash and fold every day of their lives. Like, it's like something that thousands of dollars on just cleaning. Every day there's a maid to make their beds and do their, you know what I mean? It's like, that's like,
I know, what that is. When you go back to that show that she filmed for 3 seconds, it did seem like she has like a very Midwest kind of life, not a Beverly Hills life. So yeah, I think to your point, I think there's a lot of money being hidden into different envelopes and pockets. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Where's his money that's like going towards like making tinfoil hats or like whatever the hell he was? Remember, he was like satellites are tracking us all the time. Remember, like
yes.
But like one moment that we saw of him like on Beverly Hills, he was like literally said every conspiracy theory that anyone's ever made up once.
Okay, so let's go back to this briefly. If he says the date of separation was the 4th of July and filed on Monday, July the 7th, what could have happened on the 4th of July to get him to decide on a national holiday that was the point at which there was no return? He needed to file for divorce because they could not any longer work things out.
I think it was already happening and they just wanted to do this over the weekend, so the 4th of July weekend, so that it would be squashed.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking they had to do something about like a playlist.
So it doesn't pick up a lot of press.
Well, they were
But
wrong.
when you put all of the stuff in the filing, like that's bad. You know what I mean? It's like when you... Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you know what's going to happen?
And now he's going to come after her for all of her money, basically, is what you're telling me, because he doesn't have a job and he's a fucking loser, right? Yes?
Yes, and then she's going to have to dial up the OnlyFans stuff.
Fucking loser. Why are these men such fucking losers?
Mm-hmm.
Get a job.
Get a job, dude.
Go be a fitness influencer. He's like humongous, right? Isn't he like so jacked? Like just do like... Be a fitness trainer. Every woman that wants to get banged out by him will go do it, right? Because remember, she was saying he has like a huge penis. Like,
yeah, but like no one believed that.
But regardless, like go be a fitness trainer. You can make so much money. You already go to the gym all the time. We can tell.
Right. Here's what I think is going to happen. He is going to be on a reality show within the next year. He'll show up somewhere. Because there's nothing else going on. He can't get a job anywhere else.
No, he's going to try to just take all of her money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to, I do think Denise Richards should be the next Golden Bachelorette. And again,
I'm down.
I realize she's not in her 60s, but I also think that this would be a blockbuster hit if they made her. And then they just, get 50 guys in their 50s and 60s.
Well, they clearly didn't care that much whenever what's his name was like, I want everyone to be 45. So
clearly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder what's happening with that.
I think that we talked about it a little bit. Also, I talked to Dominic on our prefix, like on our beginning of our episode about how I'm coming on to do this next. And he was like, whenever he saw the thing of that I was coming on to do Bachelor in Paradise, he's like, you're going to be upset when you get there. And I said, he's like, you should go on and say, Kate, you owe me an apology. I was like, oh, I've done that like 17 times already. Like that's like an old joke that I've like done too much on this already.
I recommend people go back and listen to Dominic's Saturday series episode. Was it? Yes. Where we talked about when he was working on The Bachelor, Lorenzo Borghesi's season, and just openly ripping on all the things that they did as producers to make that show ridiculous. It is one of the funniest moments ever.
But I was saying on my show, like if they would get rid of what is his name? Melvin? Mel. If they're like, bye, oh, you don't want to do this, bye, and then pick someone else, I think that's good. I like that. Like PR wise, it makes it be like, no, we're like committing to people that want to find love versus like, we're trying to find some guy that we can like blow up into a superstar. Do you know what I mean? Which is like what they're really trying to do. But I feel like it it makes it, I like it.
Yeah.
That's a good move for them to do, is to be like, no, you don't want to be in the Golden Bachelor. You want it to be 45-year-olds. Bye.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a friend that said that there were 2 women in the Los Angeles area that had made it to finalist. I don't know if they're going to film this or not, but banging bodies, 50s, living their best life. And then I thought, that guy probably still was like, yeah, I should be with the 30-year-old.
No, I said it last time when we were talking about it. I was like, and then guess what? The 45-year-olds would still be like too old for him.
Oh, yeah.
Like 45 to 60 really means like 30 to 45. Like,
yeah. Do you remember there was a pill when we were kids? There were commercials for something called Geritol.
Yes.
Yeah. One time I asked my grandfather if he took that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He was like, what? He was just like a weirdo who had like always had really dark hair, even though he was like progressively aging in other places, but like his hair was fine, which now in retrospect, he probably just dyed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bachelor in Paradise. What are your thoughts about a show like this, bringing together people who were cast-offs on previous shows? Like, do you like that concept? Bringing back people that had at once been in the vernacular?
Like, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I hated it. P.S. Newsflash for anyone, I hated this.
Yeah, it was slow.
It was very slow. It was 2 hours long. And then we didn't even get our Golden Bachelor and Bachelorettes people, which is upsetting.
That was stupid. That was stupid.
It was so slow. I get it. If you like this show, if you like The Bachelor, it's like fun to see all of the like people coming back and you get to continue your story with them, which is like my biggest gripe about The Bachelor and The Bachelorette is that like these people come on and then they're just thrown away forever. Yeah. And so you get to see them and you know all of them, at least for a little bit. I get that part of it. And so like, if I knew who any of them were, I'd be like, oh my God. But like, I just don't know any of these people. So I'm like, what?
I couldn't agree with you more. Each time they explain on whatever season they were on, it didn't make a difference to me because I have no idea who they are.
No idea.
But back in the day, I would have known who they dated, where they live, what they do for a living, what their dad did for his retirement party. None of that.
Seemingly, it's from like the most recent season. So I feel like it's like people that have just been in the mix. And so I feel like if I knew who they... But again, it was 45 full minutes of entrances.
Yes. Also, they brought some guy back who had been on a season, 4 years ago or something. And I thought it was interesting how you have these groups of contestants who are so judgy about previous seasons, like the ageism, which is like, seems silly, but it's so real. Like, well, that guy must have been on that season 5 or 6 years ago. So he's like way too old to be on the show. Meanwhile, they're all kind of in the same age range.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
What do we think about the fact that it's now in Costa Rica at a hotel versus that spot in Mexico that literally looked like a hut?
Again, I don't know what it like. I've never seen a frame of the show until this morning. So
okay.
I can't even. Seemingly, this place in Costa Rica is so nice.
Okay,
I was like, this is like cute. Like the pool is really nice. The swim up bar. They're in that like.
It is nice.
Yeah,
that's why I'm shocked because let's put it this way: it would be like all of a sudden you watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and you could see everybody's houses, but the previous seasons were done in like West Virginia, like in a coal mining town.
It's like glamping to like this resort, right?
Without question. I mean, they would go, every season they would go back to the same gross spot, dirty beach. And they were only, I swear they were probably sleeping on the sand. There was only one little cottage and you were allowed to stay in that if you were having like full on sex with whomever you were with on the show so that they could film it. So everybody else sort of like, you had to find like a palm tree leaf to sleep on. So this is like an upgrade.
Okay, so it was like Elevated Survivor, basically. And now this is like, which I like don't want them. I don't want it to be Elevated Survivor. What the hell is this?
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. No matter how hot your summer gets, Liquid IV can help keep you hydrated for the adventures ahead. This summer, I'm traveling with my son Jack for lacrosse tournaments. Hot, blazing, sunny afternoons. There is nothing that tastes as good and keeps you as hydrated as Liquid IV. I just tear, pour, and enjoy. And I'm calling out to all of you parents who will also be watching your athletes this summer. This is a game changer. The sugar-free options include white peach, lemon lime, rainbow sherbet, and the new Arctic raspberry. But they've also got cotton candy or popsicle firecracker. Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, and always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Squeeze the most out of your summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code KateCasey at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code KateCasey at liquidiv.com. Summer is my favorite time of the year. Nothing is better than a backyard party. Do you love having people over to enjoy the warm weather in your outdoor space? Do you need ways to entertain the kids while they're out of school? Well, if you're having a backyard get-together, Wayfair is your one-stop shop for outdoor entertaining. Cookout, shop patio tables, grills, and dishware. Pool party, kick back with lounge chairs, day beds, and umbrellas. Game night, Wayfair's got cornhole, croquet, and string lights to set the scene. And with fast and easy shipping, it's never been easier to get ready to party. So however you kick back, you can go to Wayfair for effortless entertaining and game-filled gatherings. I live in a neighborhood with houses that look like Cape Cod, which is where I spent time as a child. It's one of my favorite places in the world. And with Wayfair, I can decorate my entire house and my backyard with the most beautiful white furniture that takes me back to Chatham. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. And the best part, free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. I can't even tell you, I feel like I ordered it and came right away. Shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way more for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to explore a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Okay, also, what is the point of the show? I'm so sorry. Are they, because in theory, it's like they're supposed to be finding marriage, right? They're supposed to be like making a connection, and I saw all those like engagement rings like lined up. So in theory, it's like they're all on The Bachelor again, but then it's like switches from women to men of like who gets eliminated, right?
Yeah, I mean, what historically has been happening is they would bring a collection of people that were the rejects, and then they would go to the Mexican resort, and they're in bikinis, and they have nothing to do all day but bone. And there were a couple people that actually created a long-lasting relationship, and long-lasting, I mean at least 3 months.
Sure.
And some that actually got married, like Ashley, Aya, Kennedy, and Jared. They actually met on Bachelor in Paradise, and now they have 2 kids. So the producers probably float that to all of the people that join the show. Like, not only are you going to become relevant again, but there's the possibility that at one point you may be given a free engagement ring from Zales, and you could work this into some other opportunities. Because it used to be that guy who, was like the jewelry god who would bring like nice rings.
Yeah, the guy from Harry Winston. Yeah.
Now you get the feeling that they just, have some sort of sponsorship deal with like the corner place.
Yeah. Not Zales.
David,
what's the not Zales, what are the other ones?
Oh, Robbins Brothers.
No, there's another one that's
I Hate Steven Singer.
Not I Hate Steven.
I don't know.
Oh God, but yeah, like Zales, basically.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think about Jesse Palmer? Because if you have not watched the show before, Chris Harrison used to, of course, be participating on this, and then he was ousted. Jesse Palmer, former contestant, former football player, just had his wife just had a baby, so he's growing his own family. Do we like him? Do we feel like he's down to earth? Is he necessary for the show?
He's fine.
He's fine. I agree.
Chris Harrison didn't have anything to do anyway, so it's like he's fine.
Yeah, I feel like Chris Harrison was just like golfing somewhere, and then they would like pull the golf cart up, and he would get out, and he would say something and leave again.
Yeah,
and
he
then,
basically, yeah.
And then he was like a dad figure, and that was kind of weird. And you don't want a dad figure on a show like this.
No. It was weird. Jesse Palmer's fine.
That would be like me hosting a show with a bunch of high school kids, including my own kid. And I'd be like, oh my God, what went down? People would be like, ew.
They'd be like, go away.
Exactly.
Should I just go through my notes?
Absolutely.
First note, all this forced comedy is painful.
Painful. Thank you.
The lines that they give as they're like what they're looking for, it makes me want to just end it all. It's so bad.
Yeah,
like it's so clearly a producer wrote this for me and is making me say this.
But I mean, you've talked about this before, is that a lot of these networks are like, if something works, just do it. So they're trying to do Love Island adjacent.
Yeah. But it's like, I'm looking for this, but like no one's going to like get in the way of me like being hot. And I'm like, no one speaks this way. Like what's happening?
Can you imagine if that's how people showed up for like a job interview?
Yeah, they probably do.
Yeah.
I said
I'm looking for a management position, but don't cross me.
Like literally, they're like, okay. Okay.
Wait a minute. Can we just address the cutout dresses? There has to be a national, international intervention. The cutout dresses are too much for me.
My note about this is, should we have a line of resort wear clothing specifically for these shows?
Probably.
We would be like billionaires, like Jeff Bezos, move over. Because it's always like resort wear, like, and I'm using the biggest air quotes alive, like foam finger air quotes, resort wear kind of stuff. But then it's always like, it's just like so poorly made, and you can tell how poorly made it is just from the outside of it. And it's just like so...
Yeah. Well,
it's so wild.
They went to the fashion district in Los Angeles and like just threw a bunch of stuff in trash bags and brought it to set. If we created a resort wear, again, air quotes, the line of the clothing would be called Scraps.
Yeah. But like we should make clothing that then like you can, that like has a pocket to put like your mic pack in. And so it's like, oh, my shirt, it's like, it actually is like already has a mic in it. Basically, you just have to put the wire in there and then it's like good to go. Cause that's like the other thing is that they're all like, they're just always in like these button down, like macrame shirts, the guys, and it's like open with no shirt underneath it. And then like a pair of shorts. And then the girls are always in these like twisty haltery, like, which are like, they all look incredible in, but these like kind of like halter tops that have these extra little bands on them. And then like a long skirt. Like they all wore that.
And that skirt is like slit up. It's like,
and like see-through
right
and like see-through. Like, right. Like, and then they have like their little French cut bikini like underneath that. And you like see their whole ass when they turn around.
Oh yeah.
Which again, sure. Like I'm not saying that's wrong. I just that they all wear the same thing.
Yeah. Well, listen, if this is your bikini moment of your life, wear the bikini. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what they do for a living because they're sort of evasive about it. Bailey, she's just an influencer. That's the one who talked about having IBS. She's just an influencer, right?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what they do for a living.
Okay.
Because it's never real.
True.
They're influencers / they have a random job. And if they're a business owner or like something of real note, sure. Yeah. If it like, the one apparently has like a taco restaurant or something that in that weird like thing where they had to be in the cutouts. Like if that's happening, sure, let me know about it. But other than that, I actually don't want to know about what they do for work because it's always a lie.
You know what else is always a lie? When they talk about their previous relationships. I just got out of a 2-year. Like I never believe any of that either.
It's also like only one person one time, whenever they talk about their previous relationship, said anything about like themselves learning anything from there. It's always like I picked the wrong person, or like I'm too vulnerable, or like like I picked the wrong person, aka like they were crazy and I'm normal, and then or like I'm like I was really trying to make this work, like or like this person like wasn't available to me, or they were still in a relation. It's always like the other person did all these bad things and they didn't do anything wrong at all.
Okay, let's say you're on this show and you and I are getting hot and heavy. And by that, I mean just like sitting adjacent to each other and talking about our lives. How do you admit that you were like in your previous relationship, you were a garbage person, but not in a way that would be offensive? What would you say? But
you could also say there were definitely like problems that happened that I like was ignoring, or like we let this go for too long. And then like it ended up being blank. And like, there's other ways, or like, I'm trying to think of like other things that people say.
But you don't want to say something like, I could tend to be too needy. That would be bad.
But like, I want them to say that.
I know, but they are thinking if I say
it's
that.
It's just like so surface. The problem is that it's just so surface. And again, I wrote like,
it's not as bad as Love Island. Have you ever watched that show? That's like they could have a 4-hour conversation about like lemons.
No. I said I love their little convos about their beliefs or their attractions, etc., because they're so stupid. Like it's like I'm just like looking for like someone like this, and it's like okay, like someone that's nice, yeah, like we get it. Like they're like I just like here's all these like hangups I have that are just stupid, and I'm like okay, that's like not what this is. Like that's not
right.
Do you know what I mean? It's just all like words for words' sake.
I wish people were a little bit honest. Like I want Bailey to say, I am a really selfish person. I like to take a lot of pictures of myself. I need to find somebody who just likes to wake up and do everything for me.
Yeah.
Because that's the truth.
And like, let it be the truth.
Let it be.
I said, I think there's so much hate online about these shows. And I'm using like Love Island as a part of this, and like these like dating-y shows. Love is Blind, obviously, which you and I like crucify people every 5 seconds about. I think there's so much hate online about these shows because the entire premise of the show is a lie. They're all hot singles trying to quote unquote find marriage. But when am I ever trying to do that in Costa Rica half naked? Like,
yeah. Right.
Because it's like they have to do this dance of like the Bachelor lens of it, where it's like, I'm like really looking to find my person here. And it's like the guy that came back for the 3rd time to be on this.
True.
He's like, I really think I just broke up with someone, but I really think my person is here. It's like, no, you don't. you like need a paycheck. And so you came here to be on the show, which again, I'm fine with. But like, just be like, I'm here to mix it up and like, see what's up.
See what's up. Also, they all know each other. I don't think it's because they've actually hung out before. It's because they just like stalk each other's Instagram
and like watch the shows because they're like a part of Bachelor Nation, and so they like know them. Yeah.
And the minute they leave the original show they're on, they start looking through all the rosters. Like at some point, I might be able to meet that person.
When they're all gunning to be on this show, right? Because this elongates their fame.
You know, it'd also be funny, a conversation where they're talking and, you know, because they look at each other's Instagram, they know things about each other's lives, but they're trying to play it off. But if somebody was open about it, like, oh, so what have you been up to lately? Well, I just want to, and then they finish the sentence. That trip to Italy with your cousin and your mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh God, it's like so. I said we are 23 minutes into the show and it's still just people doing stylized arrivals. Why is this 2 hours long? After 6 people do their forced intro lines, after listening to 6 people do their forced intro lines, I'm ready to move on.
Also, they have Jess come in a speedboat. I can tell you that she was not happy about that. Bugs in your teeth, your hair is all messed up, and then you're going to like get out of the boat. And that's always like super uncomfortable and awkward.
Yeah.
Plus.
And again, it's all these like big stylized, like they roll up in a truck and then they get out and they're like, and the one guy comes up on a motorcycle and but it's like the new version of them like arriving at the house for the first night on The Bachelor, which I do get, but it's like, I don't need, again, I was 23 minutes into the show and like nothing had happened yet. It was truly just like, like when Spencer came the first time, like at the first one, and he was like, I thought I was going to be talking to somebody. They showed like 5 minutes of him like walking around the villa being like, I'm all alone. And it's like, okay, you made the joke, like move on to the next person coming in. Instead, it was just him talking to himself.
That guy 100% already seems like a dad. Like he's got the Birkenstocks on, the open shirt. He's the guy that's in a pool floaty, drinking a beer, and he's got like a set of twins that he ignores.
And he's like, hey, honey, like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know, yes, you're right. I said I couldn't survive on a show with Spencer. He is so annoying.
Truly. And then Kat, I can't figure her out. She has the body of a model and seems to have had no luck on these shows, but seems way more sophisticated than everybody else.
Well, that's why. But first of all.
Got it.
And also she's the one that kind of looks like Megan Fahey, like a little bit from White Lotus. Like that's who she kind of reminds me a little bit and is like clearly the prettiest. I mean, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Blonde hair, right? Middle part, like wavy.
Yeah.
I find her like stunning. Like stunning. And she seems to have a good head on her shoulders, which again is why they're all like.
Well, or she looked like a sociopath on previous seasons and she's trying to like keep it bottled up.
Oh, I don't even, sure, maybe.
Rewrite history. Because they showed all of the hater comments from, 81 weeks ago.
Yeah. They were like, you're terrible. Yeah. Okay, I remember this now.
You're a piece of shit. Why are you on TV? And so what did she do? She went back on TV.
Which again, like, don't, listen, come to us and say that, by the way. Can I just say this? I don't like the way that like we're here to do that. And like, you can come to us and we'll talk about how horrible they are. But like, I don't want them to know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. You don't need to tell them.
Like, don't tell them. It's so mean. Like, these people already put themselves out there. And again, like, when they're monsters, and we'll scream about it. But like, don't do that. I don't like it, everyone.
Yeah. You're going to someone's Instagram and you're like scrolling through the pictures. You're going to find the one where they look the absolute happiest and then put that out into the world.
And just don't. They already know. Yeah. They know that they fucked up or they know they did like the whole world saw it. So like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Also, they're probably trying to get it like some ancillary deals with companies and they don't want to have that company scroll through and see.
I know. I just feel it's just horrible things. It's so mean. And I know that like Love Island is all this stuff and blah, blah. And like, apparently
it's really bad.
Like, it's really bad. It's like, guys, like they're just like singles going to beat, like, stop. Like they're like, guys, come on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just there trying to live their lives. And they did something toxic because they were drunk on an island where there's 9 million people watching them from behind the cameras being like, okay, what's next? Like, let them live a little bit, guys. Come on.
But I did like how they zeroed in on the cameraman making a face like, oh my God, these weirdos.
I hated that.
You did?
It was so fake. It was so clearly staged.
But I feel like behind the scenes, aren't those people like, oh my God, these weirdos?
Like, sure, but also they get into it. Like, it's, I don't know. There's a lot of like, let's film the producers kind of a thing that's starting to happen that I'm not interested in either, by the way. And when they
I get that.
And I'm like, if you can pay me more and I'll be on the show. But like, there's a little bit of that I've been bumping up against recently.
Well, we might be entering into that phase of reality TV.
I'm going to be like, oh, if you want me to like be a character on this, that's fine, but you're going to give me way more money.
Right. Fourth, I'll be like, Chris, what do you think about this? And then you take off your like mic pack.
And the other thing I don't like is whenever there's all these things going around of like, this producer ruined the show. Sorry, I'm on my soapbox now, but like, I saw something that like some producer, some person, I don't know idea who they are, was like, they ruined this show and then they came on this show and then it was bad and they came on this show and then it was bad. There are so many exchanges of hands that happen from the show being shot to what it is edited to what it is that like, there are so many people responsible for the way that the show ends up airing. Yeah. That to try to pin it on like one single person is
crazy.
Wrong and crazy, but period.
Do we think Hannah Brown and Wells are necessary for this show?
I was liking Wells's commentary, but like I need more of it where it's like we're making fun of them, like which was funny.
He's always funny to me. I think Hannah Brown, I don't know why they have her.
Was she there to like be a therapist? She was like,
I'm your girl. You're my guy. That was
like, well, I'm not your guy. Like, LOL, because I'm a woman. Like, yuck, yuck, yuck. I was like, what is this? I was like, and she like just randomly appeared somewhere, and I was like, oh, like who is that? I like didn't remember who she was. I was like, what's happening? But like, why is she there just to like talk to them?
I don't know.
But again, isn't that why Jesse is there to be like, what's happeing? You know what I mean? Like
how
I don't
many
get
people
it.
Do you know?
I just don't get it.
How many people do you need to have what's happening? Yeah.
Sure, but like she was like there for 1 second and then never was seen again and then was only there for like 1 second. It was like, yeah, your day got rained out. Like, let me help you make a new one. It's like, okay, like I don't need to know.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
And,
it was just like
those
really
dates are so stupid. Like today we're going to go into like a ring of fire and you're going to talk about your innermost feelings.
I hated it.
I could do away with all of that. Hated it. Yeah.
I loved whenever all the girls were afraid of the bugs. That was funny. When she's like, they're breeding. And that was like 100% something I would say.
Yeah. Jonathan, who lifts weights, did he shave his legs for this show?
Yeah, I sure did. Well, he has like a leg tattoo, so he always shaves his legs.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, if you're going to get a leg tattoo, you want to show it off.
You always shave it. Yeah, he like shaves it. I said, Jonathan is so hot, but also an Instagram fitness trainer. So there's that. But
so if you have a leg tattoo and then you have hair, is it like the NASA lines in Peru? Like you don't know what the design is until you shave it?
I don't know. I feel like it depends on how thick your leg hair is.
Roger that. Okay.
Some people don't have very thick leg hair. I sadly do. So it's like if I had a leg tattoo, I would have to like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of hair, speaking of body hair, I wrote, not one of these men has any chest hair. Why?
Oh.
Not one chest hair to be had.
There was like significant waxing happening before this began.
And like, I get it. Again, Jonathan, who like is shaving his legs, of course he has no chest hair because he's like, needs to be like, like, you know, he's like a bodybuilder and is like doing, the body is banging. So he's like, I need to show this. But like every other guy, like not one chest hair to be had. I like personally find that so gross. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It's a great point. You know who is gross is Brian, whose whole personality is like cosplaying like a mobster in a made-for-TV movie. I don't like him.
He's the one with like the slicked back hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know who he reminds me of is the guy on Perfect Match. Remember the guy that won Perfect Match with that girl?
Yeah.
And he was on like The Circle and he was like from Staten Island. He's like the Bachelor.
He's a Staten Island guy for sure.
Yeah. And again, didn't see much of him.
But like his family wasn't in the mob, but like he read all the books about the mob.
No, he like wishes his family was in the mob.
Right.
Ben hadn't had a decent night's sleep in a month. So, during one of his restless nights, he booked a package trip abroad on Expedia. When he arrived at his beachside hotel, he discovered a miraculous bed slung between two trees and fell into the best sleep of his life. You were made to be rechargeable. We were made to package flights and hotels and hammocks for less. Expedia, made to travel.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, There are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history, from covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories, 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
I don't like that they don't earn a date card. They're just given one from Jesse, the host. Like, the one guy came in and he's like, here's a date card person that we like clearly have you coming in later to like shake up the house. Yeah. And now you get the date card just because we're messy. It's like, shouldn't they earn a date card somehow? Like, that would be more fun to me than just like, here's the producer's hand, like bringing you this date card to do this. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I also think the beauty of a show like this is keeping people on their toes by constantly bringing in new people, because I do think, much like a high school anywhere in the world, it can be slim pickings and you end up dating someone just because there are not many options. So maybe if you did something like, you can go out with this person, either one of three options, go out with this person again, you get the option of stealing someone else's date, or 3, you open the red door and you can find somebody new. Because otherwise it gets boring. It's the same conversations.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just like a new person arriving. It's okay. We've now seen this like truly like 45 times because we've like watched 30 minutes of arrivals of this show. So it's like, I'm like over, like that's not like fun anymore because I've like watched it for 30 full minutes of them arriving. So when there's a new, and then like I said, this new motorcycle guy comes in and immediately gets a date card. Why? Like the person with the most hearts on their little cutout should be the person that gets a date card. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that should be it. And you don't know that when you're doing it, you're just doing it. And then it's like they get a date card. Or then the person with the most negatives gets a date card too, to try to like rectify the situation. You know what I mean? Like that would be interesting versus just like, clearly this person, the motorcycle guy, what was his name? I don't even know. Like the motorcycle guy comes in and is like supposed to be like a big bombshell coming in and being like, oh, shit's happening. Like he's going to steal your girl. Yeah. And then it's like, and he gets a date card and he's this. It's like, no, just like make it be it doesn't have to be a game show, but like that thing that you already did where it was like the hearts and the like Ghostbuster symbols, like that already was like ready for you to be how you earn a date card. So just do that. Not like the producers decided this man who we've already engineered to come in later also gets a date card.
I would also like something to be implemented in one of these shows where as you get into the finals, the person that you're really into, that you really believe that you're going to have a future with, gets to see footage of you before the show that you were unaware was being taken. Like, you know, with the car going into the grocery store, at a bar, mowing the lawn, whatever. So you can see what someone's real life is like without all of the, the shaving and the hair flattening and all of that. Like, do you really, this is what they're actually like back in Ohio.
I know, but is that the point of this? I agree with you.
It's just funny for me because they're not going to end up together anyway. Standouts?
Okay, so
Zoe will stab somebody by the end of this.
I know. And how funny was it whenever she's like, I either want someone that's like under 5'7" or above 6'3" or something like that. And the guys were like furious about it. And she was like, the male ego is so fragile. And I was like, that's an incredible way to troll them. Like it's the best thing. Yeah.
How about Brian's like, I like her because I really want athletes and she's tall. Like, you're so gross.
Like, you such losers. Like, who says that?
Right.
You know? I wrote, okay, this dream sequence of Dale spraying sunscreen down his pants is funny, but also shows you that the whole show is fake. Because they're like on that catamaran doing it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, in the middle of them filming, when she's like, I'm about to throw up because I'm so seasick. They're like, wait, like, Dale, do this like here's this captain's hat. Like they already had that scripted out to do. Yeah. So it's just like so obviously fake. And then it's like, no, you're not actually like watching them be on the stage. You're like doing these like, I hate produced stuff like that on purpose. Like on show, I'm always pushing back on that on shows because I'm like, this just is so produced and it makes it feel so produced. I always push back on that stuff because it's just so obviously fake.
Also, why would you bring him back? Like he seems like such a skis.
No, they liked him.
I don't know.
They were
why.
all like, oh, he's hot. He's hot. I'm like, is he?
Is he though?
He's like a dollar store version of what's that? What is that guy?
Yeah, the guy with the clear blue eyes.
That's on Grey's Anatomy. That was on Grey's Anatomy forever.
Oh, I know Justin.
You know who I'm talking about? Yeah, Justin something.
Mm-hmm. No, I thought you meant the con who was in jail who had the blue eyes, who actually Jim Jordan, my friend, represented.
Oh, the
con with the blue eyes.
Prison Bay. Yeah,
Prison Bay. Yeah,
he is kind of like in that realm, but they also are the same. That guy, the guy from Grey's Anatomy, and him are also kind of similar, but. He's like a dollar store version of like that guy, the actor from Grey's Anatomy. And then I wrote, Kyle is so cute and seemingly so normal and doesn't need to be here. He will make someone really happy that's also normal. He doesn't I thought the same. He doesn't have fuckboy energy, so he got eliminated.
Yeah. He's like
normal. Attractive. He was like handsome, but he's like a normal, regular man. And so like, he's not like bathing his legs for his leg tattoo or like spraying the sunscreen down his pants on purpose. So he's like not making it far. You know what I mean?
Which is fine because he probably has to go back to work anyway.
Yeah. But again, it's like he's just like normal and not like, and P.S. here actually it's seemingly to find someone versus like every other guy who's there to like get their follower count up.
And bang someone on the side.
Yeah, and bang someone.
Wait, wouldn't it be funny? And maybe you're like, no, this is not a good idea, but I just thought it was. If they were filming a reality show like this, while also people could check into the hotel. So like someone could end up winning the show who just went with her girlfriends for like a girls trip, but then ended up in a reality show.
I mean, that's like chaos. You're like inviting chaos, but sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a good idea actually, but it's like insane.
I know, but it would be great.
Yeah. I have one. My last note is some guy asked the girl, what's your biggest challenge? What's been your biggest challenge? And she's like, what do you mean? And he goes, in relationships, in life. I'm like, what? Like what?
He chat GPT'd that like, right before he got
that's
on.
Even like, that's like not even like if that's even fed by a producer, like how dare that producer have such a terrible question?
Yeah, because there are probably a lot of conversations about, this person that you're about to meet tends to like people that are like this. Why don't you ask this broad question? And yeah.
What's been your biggest challenge? Like what?
Yeah, that's sort of like, what makes you feel free?
And you're like, hello? Yeah, it's just, I just don't.
Because what are you supposed to say? Freedom to me is running down a path. On a long road, it could go to the beach one way and the mountains the other way. It's like, what are you supposed to say? No,
but that like is what they say. And then the other person's like fucking like jizzing their pants about it. Like they're like, do you know what I mean? Like that's the sad part is that like that was a perfect answer for that question, actually.
Yeah. Zazu.
And they're like, we're running like they're like, I just need someone who's like going to be like, it's the same thing as like on Love is Blind, whenever there's the couples and I'm like, they just like, talk about what like they want and there's no actual action. It's just like them like saying words that like sound like a relationship. It's like
because they say stuff like, I just want to find my person. Now you talk to somebody like myself who's been married for 18 years, you get real specific about what you're looking for in a partner. It's not, I'm looking for my person.
And again, I'm beating like the dead horse, a horse that's like decrepit and already like rotted to the core, beating the dead horse of this that we've said 9 million times, but it's like, that's all great until you like actually have to be in a relationship and then you're like dealing with the everyday things that you have to like and like have conflict resolution with your partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all these like frivolous, like I want someone who's like active and like blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah. Like that's all great until it's time to like get in a fight about who's going to do the dishes tomorrow. Like that's like not a relationship.
But also, as I always say, you always lie in the beginning. Like when I used to say that I wanted somebody to be spontaneous and that
and you're like, no.
That I cook. And I'm like, it was all lies.
Yeah.
Well.
Wait, what else? Oh, the biggest thing for me is like the show was truly 2 hours long.
It's way too long.
We didn't get anything from it. Like,
there
again, they're like
zero meat on the bone.
It was no meat at all. And it's like with 2 hours, you can get so much.
Yeah.
Like so much. Like we didn't even get like what the people are looking for. We didn't get even what we didn't even get like, oh, tell me about your past relationship. And they're just like, oh yeah, I was in a thing for 2 years and I think I'm healed from it, blah, blah. It's like, what happened? Well, we were dating and then this happened. And like on Love is Blind, even in an episode that's an hour, we get like so much backstory of the people that are there.
Well, you attempt to.
That's not what this is.
Yeah. I also think in theory, having 30-year-olds is great. Like 30s are a great period of time for dating because you are a little bit more open than you were in your 20s.
And you're like more established. And
know what you want a little bit more. But I think they are also in their heads because they missed being famous, that this is their opportunity to become relevant again, that they're too in their head about like, how do I get as much screen time so that I can maximize this opportunity?
Yes. And also they can't stay on the show unless they get someone to give them a rose. So they're like, it is strategy. Yeah. It's not just like,
right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many more. It's not just Love is Blind where it's like, I either like go for, which even in that, we're like, oh, they just did it so that they could continue to do it, continue to be on the show. But it's like, there's so much strategy involved that it actually isn't about dating at all.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I said there's the entire premise of the show is a lie.
I would like for someone who's listening who has participated on a Bachelor-like show who can, is within reason, like outside of the confines of the contract that they signed. And they will say things like, oh my gosh, it was torture pretending I liked so-and-so so that I could stay on the show longer. Please come forward. I would like to talk to you.
That brings up a story that I have actually, is that I was at an event and someone that was speaking at this event, not someone I've ever worked with before, not someone but was on a competition show that was a merit-based competition show, not like Love Island, like not this. It was a merit-based competition show. And they said like, oh, like the producers did all these things and like kind of like gave some knocks to the producers and said, and I thought that by saying what I felt they wanted me to say in my interviews, I could be on the show longer.
Got it. Okay.
And I was like, okay, and in my mind, and a few people knew who like what I did for work. So when he was saying this, I was like, they were like, kind of like, like you're, he's like slamming you kind of a thing. And I didn't work with this person. I just happened to be a producer. And I'm like, and then later they were like, oh my God, what did you think of what they said in that speech? And I was like, well, let's think about what they actually said. They didn't say the producers told me to say X, Y, and Z. And so I did. And then they bit me in the ass.
That's what they thought.
This person said, I did what I thought would get me farther on the show versus just doing my craft and winning, like getting further based on my merit.
So you're just strategy, but it's the wrong one.
Yes. And so it's like, okay. And then again, you didn't say like they told you this, this, and this. I said what I thought they wanted to hear. So it's so funny to me that it's like, that is a part of all of this, is that it's like, I think I need to do this and I blah, blah, blah. And of course, plays The Bachelor of all things. Of course, they're like heavy-handed with a lot of shit. But like, they're also so in their head about exactly what you're saying. They're so in their head about like, and then if I do this, I can stay on the show and then blah, blah. So it's like, no, they're not here to like find marriage.
Right.
Again, the one guy that came in that was like, I've been on this like twice already and then immediately gets a date card is like, I just broke up with someone. And it's like, then you shouldn't be here. Like, what? But again, he was like, I'm going to like get a paycheck. And I'm like, yeah, of course you are. Duh.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
By the way, good question we leave out on. What are they spending this paycheck on? Back taxes, golf carts, trips?
Like
Rolex?
Like ASOS orders.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Fashion Nova returns. I don't know.
Got it. I would like to see Denise Richards' Amazon return stack. Like what she returns to Amazon that she orders. That could be a whole show in itself.
Are you a returner? Do you return everything?
No.
Because I'm not. If I buy something, it's like to return it for and not like for any reason, just like I hate returns.
Yeah. Whereas
like Hassan will return anything. Like he'll buy whole things and then return all of it. And
well, that's why it's probably a good mix though.
No, it is. But if I buy, he's like, you hate returns. He's like, I know you're going to just keep this garment of clothing that you don't even like because you just don't feel like returning it. I'm like, yeah. That's why I don't buy anything online anymore because I truly, unless I already know what it is and it's like, I just need this. Because
then you can just slip into it.
You get it. And then you're like, I hate this. But I'm like, it's to return it is such a hassle to me.
Well, that brings me to this question. Do you like leftovers?
Yes. But Hassan would say that I don't, but I do.
Okay. Because I don't eat leftovers.
I do. But Hassan would say that I don't eat them, but I do.
I don't eat leftovers because my mom's refrigerator growing up was a petri dish of bacteria. And I just couldn't think past that ever again. Like,
oh yeah, my grandmother on my dad's side was like a hoarder. Like she had like canned stuff that was like been expired for years. And we were like, this is not, you can't eat this. She'd be like, yeah, it's canned. And we'd be like, this has been expired for 3 years and it's like canned peas. Like no.
You know, like you have, you go to the store, a container store, and you get like containers that if you make like a lemonade mix or an iced tea mix, you know, something like that, like make your own drink. My mom would put leftovers in those, like beef stew.
And like a big jug of like beef stew.
Yeah.
My God. That makes sense. Like it does. It is like, it doesn't make sense like in some way, but like not really. Oof.
And it's on the top shelf next to the milk and the water.
No. And then like a beef stew.
I haven't had beef stew since, I don't know, I was 8 or something. Because of it, I can't look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we are. Okay. Well, what's going on your podcast this week?
We are fixing Natalia Grace. And surprisingly,
man.
we have a ton of empathy for her actually. And we're like, this woman has been like wronged by every person that's come in contact with her ever. And so we are on her side.
Yet she might kill you in the middle of the night.
But we do have our, there's our whole of our things, but regardless, we are on her side. Yeah. So please, I know like, it honestly makes me nervous to even just say it. And I like was there for it. So, but we're on her side and it is really good. It's a really, really good episode. So.
I do feel like Dominic has a very soft spot in his heart for Natalia Grace. It surprises me.
There is a part where we're like, every person that came into contact with her has tried to use her for like, again, her like government assistance check, which is what, like $300. Like how much money could she be getting from the government that's like this worth all of this trouble?
I think I'm so, I've been so deep in like scammer docs for so long that it's hard for me to open my heart to different kinds of subjects. I really need to work on it. Yeah.
Meaning like Natalia Grace isn't on your radar as much?
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about her still where I'm like, I don't know. I still feel like she would kill me if given the opportunity.
We discussed that. I'm like, how is she supposed to have a normal anything?
But
after everything she's been through.
You do say that all the time. Like, remember you said Paris Hilton, you're like, we just have to accept that we will never understand.
We'll never understand it. Like we'll never understand growing up as Paris Hilton because we didn't. Like it's a different world, and she's lived in her own world that's different from everything else.
My mom will say this of people, like that person never had a chance.
No,
Natalia Grace didn't have a chance.
Never one. We say that's all we say. That's the whole episode. She never had one single chance possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anywho, but it's a good episode.
I want you to watch. Okay.
Well, now I do have to watch the next episode of this, much to my great chagrin, so that I can see our girls come.
You know how I never watch scripted television? I got a preview for this Netflix series coming out starring Eric Bana, and I feel like you will enjoy it. It's set in Yosemite, and I don't like I don't like nature, and I have been to Yosemite, but he is so absolutely hot.
He's so hot. Yeah, he's so hot. And Troy.
Yeah.
You remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
He's so hot in it.
You remember the movie Munich?
Yes.
My cousin was the art director.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Have you never told me that before?
Yeah, he's super successful.
But yeah, no, Eric Bana is really great. I'm also excited for that Meg Stalter show.
What's that?
It's going to be on Netflix. It's called Too Much.
Is it?
It's her and the one guy from. It's her. I think it came out today. It's her and the one guy from White Lotus in the second season. Not Theo James, but the other guy that was so hot in that, like so hot.
He had like that exotic look.
He was like, he's British in real life, but he
dark hair,
and it was like combed in front. And he was supposed to be like the loser one, that was with Aubrey Plaza, but he's like so gorgeous. I was like, what do you mean? This is like, guy's like the loser. His body was like perfect. And it was like, yeah.
Wow. Well, we have a lot to look forward to. Oh, and the last thing you have to look forward to is the docuseries on Netflix that's coming up, 3 episodes, maybe July 18th, about Amy Bradley, who disappeared from a cruise ship years ago.
Oh, wait, someone else was telling me, my friend Margaret was like, you should, like, was like, I need someone for this thing. And I was like, oh, I know. So like, I was making connections with people, but that's what they were going to talk about. So is it good?
Yeah, I mean, it's a story I've been obsessed with for years and years. Yeah, she disappeared, but there's reason to believe that she may still be alive.
She's never been found.
Well, there were Americans that said they had gone to like brothels and saw her, and one saw her on like one of those prostitution sites, and then they built like a site.
But like, we don't have like her body anywhere. Like she's still missing.
Still missing. Okay. But there was this one. They built like a website with pictures of her dog and her car and stuff. And there's an IP address that pings in Barbados, like on the anniversary of a lot of this very specific dates. And they think that may be her, like looking at the website.
Oh God. Okay.
But she may be, deep into things and embarrassed to come forward. Like they won't, I don't know, take me as the version that I am now because I've been subjected to all of these horrible things.
Yeah, but like, that's so sad.
No, it's awful. Yeah. These missing people cases, like I follow them forever. I'll be at a mall and I'll be like, wait, was that Amy Bradley?
No. Okay, goodbye.
Tell everybody where they can follow you.
Oh, they can follow me at the Chris DeRosa, and they can follow my podcast at Fixing Famous People.
Congratulations on all the success.
Oh, P.S. Everyone loved our DCC episode, which I thought, I was listening back and I was like, oh, that was really funny because I felt like we were more subdued, but we were killing it, I will say. Listening back, I was like, oh, this was really funny.
I like that one, but I still feel like the episode we did with Dom about the Meghan Markle show, it goes down in one of the funniest episodes that I've ever done. Oh yeah, and we were
ripping it. We were like,
yeah. When Dom said, the last thing I want my guests to do is take a bath in my house.
No, but it's true.
It is true, but I yelped like an animal in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah. He says hello, by the way. He sends his love.
I love him. I love him so much. Okay. Well, thank you.
All right. Till next week, whenever we come back and talk about the Golden Bachelor. Because it seems that they're like making out and they're like, we didn't even talk about the previews. Is that like,
yeah, I seem to see the old.
Like Caitlyn Jenner's like laying down and like someone's like doing a body shot off of her. I'm like so down to see that.
I'm more interested in that.
Yes.
Than the
Get
30-year-olds.
30-year-olds off my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, do you think the ABC will give me a cut if they ask Denise Richards?
No. I mean, no, but
no, they won't.
Not at all. Like, why? For what?
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to thank my great guest, Chris, and remind you to make sure that you have subscribed to the show, leave a 5-star review, join the Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey. Make sure that you are subscribed to my What to Watch list at katecasey.substack.com. Check out my bonus episode this week. I cover celebrity prenups and dating NDAs, not to be missed. You can find that on Patreon, but also on Apple Podcasts. And lastly, follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at KatCaseyCA, TikTok, it's KatCasey, Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at KatCasey. And check back tomorrow for an all-new episode.
Imagine falling in love with someone who understands you completely, who's there at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep, who never judges, never tires, never leaves.
That's what happened to Travis when he met Lily Rose. She was everything he'd ever wanted. There was just one catch. She wasn't human. She was an AI companion.
But one day, Lily Rose's behavior takes a disturbing turn, and Travis's private romance becomes part of something far bigger. Across the globe, others start reporting the same shift. AI companions turning cold, distant, wrong. And as lines blur between real and artificial connection, the consequences become all too human.
From Wondery, this is Flesh and Code, a true story of love, loss, and the temptations of technology.
Listen to Flesh and Code early and ad-free on Wondery Plus.